I'm still mad about it. God bless. I mean, I knew he was going to lose. I mean, before the game, me and Spoon gave our picks. You know, I said, I don't think we're going to win this game. Obviously, we lost the game 34-17 and gave up, I don't know, like 5,000 rushing yards, so on and so forth. We brought a special guest on for the post-game report. We got a guy, Bluff City in the building, Marcus Jones. Well, you watched it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
You watched it. You saw it. What you think, man? What you think?
Well, it started off, and I was pleasantly surprised with how well we were playing. It looked like the Ravens couldn't stop us offensively. They got the little tip pass or whatever. I don't want to go through the full game, but then in the fourth quarter, we turned into the same old Cowboys, and then on third down and red zone, we turned into the same old Cowboys, and that pretty much summed up the game for me. And I'm sure we're gonna talk about all that in a minute.
Yeah. Everybody's sitting here. What's going on? See my boy Patrick's in the building. What's going on, Patrick? I'll let y'all read and react. The rest of the FCs is giving opponents all they want. Dallas, here we are. Man, as I get these shares out and build it up, we kind of went off the cuff real quick. Man, again started off pretty nice. Like you said, you know, and then some of the same old bugaboos, right? Some of the play calling, those things kind of came up and got us. The crazy turnover off the tip drill got us. We ran the ball great in the first quarter with Zeke, and then said, we're good on that Zeke run. We're good. And I'm sure everybody's going to wake up like, oh, my God, look at Zeke. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. I'm like, well, I mean, he's out here doing God's work and running the ball pretty damn well, almost 5 yards a clip. And y'all just basically said, all right, that was cool. That was cool. See you later. Defensively, man, our IQ on defense, guys, I don't know. For me, I just look at the IQ on defense, and we're just not very smart. I mean, it's Lamar Jackson on 4th and 2, and he goes untouched for 32 yards for a touchdown.
32 yards, yep.
Untouched, up the middle, not outside, up the middle, untouched. Simple stuff like that, not containing edge, giving him a lane to get out and run. I mean, my guy, he threw for barely over 100 yards. So he had 12 completions off of 17 attempts. And again, we got hosed. If it wasn't 300, it was like 290 and some change rushing yards. Yep. And I don't care who you are. When you're giving up that kind of rushing, they literally almost had 3 separate 100-yard rushes. I mean, my God, Mark Ingram even got into the game, who has been non-effective this entire season with the other guys, with Gus Edwards and Dobbins running the ball. And he was getting burns on us even.
Yep.
Big Truss, old school, getting burns on us. I'm just like, well, here we are. The purgatory of where we are right now, man.
We're number 4, though.
I mean, Spoon. Yeah. Spoon?
Yes, sir.
What you think, man?
I mean, listen, it was like Bluff said earlier. We was moving the ball very well on offense. They had no answers for that. We just didn't finish. We had drives. I think Greg the Leg needs to cut down that nickname. Just put Greg, and that's just it right there. I mean, you could tell by the reaction to the guys on the sideline, like Zeke, Mike McCarthy, the players. Some of these guys know they may not be here next year. Last year, their contracts. Pretty much playoffs is out the picture. Amari Cooper spoke last week. He was optimistic that the team is still in it. We're pretty much done. And pretty much, doesn't mean for sure, but it looks that way. We got the 4th overall pick as of right now. The 4th overall pick. Next week, we play the Bengals, and they have the number 3 overall pick as of right now. So that's going to be an interesting thing to see what happens with that. But listen, effort was there, but we just not a good team yet. I'm looking forward for the off season to get better guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was strange, right? I mean, there were certain things. I mean, Darian Thompson got an interception, but on the same token, he got sucked up on play action and gave up a touchdown.
Yep.
You know, overall, the offensive line.
Interference.
No, well, illegal contact for sure.
Illegal contact,
yeah. But I mean, on the other side, I mean, the offensive line played well tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. The offensive line played very well. Played much better than I anticipated him to play. Like, well, Zeke was running early, but decided to take him out. Right. Hey, look, you kept going to Lamb. Something you brought up as well, who they had matched up on Lamb, Marcus. Right. 37-year-old Tramon Williams. Right. And Lamb was hitting, and then we just kind of got away from that matchup. Like, it doesn't really make sense why we got away from that matchup.
Yep.
And then what was with the 5 wide receiver sets all of a sudden at different times? And I'm like, what is going on? You know, I mean, yeah, did the offense do enough at times? Sure, because you missed 3 field goals, so you still had a chance, right?
Yep.
You know, the last touchdown that we scored would have been, you know, going for 2 to tie instead of making it, 17. But again, if you punch and score touchdowns and not kick field goals, well, you're not in that position, right? You're just not in that position. Yeah, I mean, I think, D-Law had a pretty decent game. Anytime they run the ball his way, things kind of got shut down. But on the same token, at times, D-Law didn't have gap integrity. His lane on the outside. We saw too much of the outside. These guys just looping around and leaving these lanes for Lamar to get out and do what he needs to do. And then, of course, you saw Gus Edwards gashing this up the middle. Hello, defensive tackle. We need some of that. I think the indicative play back to the Thompson penalty was the overthrow to the backup tight end where Woods hits him way early. It's pass interference there. The ball's not even there yet. And Thompson's like, well, he's already on him. I'm just going to hit him anyways. I'm like, there you go. That's our safeties, ladies and gentlemen. On a backup, not Andrew, some backup guy. And we're hitting him with the ball overthrown, and we're going to get this flag and give him the first down. Even back to the 4th down play, right? It's 3rd and 18. You give up 16 yards to a backup tight end, which allows them then to go for it where he goes in untouched. The defense, again, it's these ups and downs, right? Defense early at one point had them 1 for 6 on 3rd down conversions.
Yep.
That kind of faded towards the end of the game, man. It's like there's a couple of good things, a couple of bad things. It's indicative play of what bad teams are. And look, and I know people are going to kill Mike Nolan and talk about this coaching staff and everything. And I'm saying that they're not responsible for certain things. However, when a team is basically running 3 plays, they're running 3 plays. I don't really care what the coaches are calling. You should be able to stop it at a certain point. We're going to run it up the middle. All right. We're going to run read option, and we'll have some play action passes. They ran 3 plays and dropped 34 on us.
They barely did play action.
Yeah.
Because what did Lamar pass it? 12 times?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it was like
12 completions.
It felt like a high school game. The way he did against it. And mind you, I don't think he even practiced the whole week because he had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even think he practiced the whole week.
Fair, yeah. TB had a couple good pickups, as well for the pass blocking 2020 Cowboys. I've been Steve. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, we were lined up. I mean, we played. The last time we played was 12 days ago, 13. Yeah. What was it? I think I saw somebody post. Yeah, 12 days of rest. Ravens had COVID. Yeah, I mean, look at there, boom. McCarthy has to go. I mean, we're going to kind of touch on that here in a minute, man. We're going to touch on that tonight because. Yes, can the Cowboys win out? Anything's possible. The only way they get to the playoffs is they have to win out.
Yeah.
I personally don't think that's going to happen. So I'm kind of pivoting my way. I mean, I'm going to cheer for them and everything. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think, you look at the Giants, the way they're able to run the ball here as of recently and how we can't run the ball. I think, that part, I just seems like an L. I mean, do we beat the Bengals? I mean, the Bengals played the Giants tough, even though without their quarterback. So, I mean, I'm not going to say, well, they're beat up or whatever, and they're tanking. It's a layup drill. I'm not going to say that at all as we go live against the Bengals. I mean, that's where we're at. We're the Bengals, ladies and gentlemen. It's who we are. I mean, those are just facts, and it does have to pivot into. And look, let's kick it off. Did the Joneses? I mean, look, we're 3-9. Even Troy Aikman kind of alluded maybe a little bit to some of the coaching stuff. He did a little bit through the broadcast.
Yep.
Did the Joneses make a mistake in hiring Mike McCarthy?
I mean, for me, I mean, it's hard to judge it because we haven't seen with the injuries we have, the way the offseason was. It's hard to say. I want to judge McCarthy the right way when you got everybody intact. That's the main thing. These are not his guys. We said earlier at the game that these are the same guys. They're making the same mistakes from last year and the year before that. The same guys, and it's not. This is not his team. That's just being realistic. This is not his team. I rather give. For me, I'm giving him a pass now. As far as Kellen Moore calling the plays in defense, well, I think I don't know which defensive route he really wants to go. He hired Nolan, but Kellen Moore, I think, was pretty much forced on him. And we're seeing the same plays from last year. This is not a West Coast offense. We haven't seen none of that stuff. When McCarthy got hired in January, what did we all say? West Coast, right?
West Coast.
We haven't seen it. So, for me, this is a pass this year.
Okay. I mean, same to you. What do you think? They make a mistake? Does he stay? Does he go? What you got, Bluff?
I wouldn't be surprised either way, but I think he gets another opportunity. And my biggest issue with him is he's at the top. He's the head coach. A lot of stuff that we see that's taking place, he needs to be stepping up and making those changes quicker or at all. So, like the coaching stuff with the defense, we see the problems. You got George Edwards sitting over there. If what Nolan's doing is not working, whether it be the scheme or motivation or putting the right guys on the field, make the change. Like you said, we see what Kellen Moore's problems are.
Right.
You're an offensive-minded guy, so you have to see it. Pull the playbook in the red zone. Even if it's just for that, make small changes that we see are problems to help improve the team.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is, even they're late in the game, it's like 3rd and 14 or something like that, and it's a wide receiver screen to Michael Gallup.
I hate that.
What are we doing?
But we do it on every 3rd down almost. If it's 3rd and 1, we do the screen.
And to add on I forgot to say this, but when a lot of fans want McCarthy gone, here's the thing. Everybody has entitled to their opinion, but how are we going to be solved? How be solved? So if you want McCarthy gone, who do you want to bring in? That's the key thing. Who's available? Again, McCarthy is a proven head coach. He's a proven winner. He went out a bad note with Green Bay, yes, but we all know what he can do. This is not his team. Now, again, I've heard things like bring Salah from 49 as a defensive coordinator. He's unproven. First of all, he's not going to leave a defensive job for one team to coach this defense here. He's going to want a head coaching job. But guess what? He hasn't never coached. All right, Eric Bieniemy. I mean, no disrespect. He doesn't even call the plays in Kansas City. We see what happened with Doug Peterson. We see what happened with Nagy with the Bears. The inexperience. Now, again, a lot of these guys are getting props for their coordinated positions, but they don't all, just because you have a title don't mean you have the same duties. And what I mean by that is that Kellen Moore is an offensive coordinator. He's calling plays for Dallas, but Eric Bieniemy is not calling the plays for the Chiefs. So when you want to say give it to Mike McCarthy, you gotta come back with, okay, who do you want to hire to replace Marvin Lewis? Yeah. That's the only other proven head coach out there.
Well, so I mean, I think here's my point is, and here's where in my opinion, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to run with your narrative, what you said, that you think that Kellen Moore was kind of forced on McCarthy. Okay, right. Let's buy that for a second. Let's buy that Kellen Moore was forced on McCarthy. Then the Joneses messed up out the gate. Why would you hire an offensive guy if you have your offensive guy on the staff already? What you should have did was hire a defensive guy to fix the defense because you believe in what Kellen Moore is doing with the offense. Because if you hire McCarthy, who has a West Coast offense, the experience of the play calling, right? What is he doing here? because he's not calling plays. They're not running his offense. And I hear this, oh, well, I mean, it was a weird offseason. It was COVID, so they want to keep things kind of the same. But they should have kept Jason Garrett then. That's one, if that's what you want to play. Because Nolan came in here, and he installed his defense. Yep. And here's how I go back to the IQ of our guys on defense isn't very high. I'm not calling them dumb or stupid or any, but the football IQ can't be high because they couldn't grasp it, and they had to scale the defense back. So I don't want to hear that he couldn't install his offense. The Browns are 9-3 with a brand new head coach who installed his offense. Stop with this. They're paid professionals.
Yep.
Like, stop with this whole idea of, well, he couldn't do it or whatever because it was this weird offseason when all these other guys around. Ron Rivera went over to the Washington football team, installed his thing. Like, let's be clear. Like, this idea of giving the scapegoat of, well, it was COVID, so we just kept this guy going. You brought McCarthy here and basically said, don't do what you do best, but coach the team. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because you should have went defense if you're going to keep Kellen Moore here.
And the only for me, the only guy that I wouldn't mind bringing in experience is Todd Bowles. That's for me, that's my guy for head coach. Todd Bowles would definitely bring home a defense. If that's the route they would go.
I mean, Todd Bowles is not. I mean, you talking about a defensive coordinator? Not head coach. Y'all know you're not saying head coach.
Well, I mean, what's available? You look at what's available.
Bro, look. The Cowboys have to look in the mirror. The Cowboys have to look in the mirror to decide one or two things.
Okay.
In my opinion, sitting here at 3-9, I think they have to look in the mirror and they have to decide one or two things. Either we're close with some tweaks, or we're way off.
Yeah.
And if you're way off, you can't put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. It's not going to heal.
So what's the solution?
You got to rip you got to rip the Band-Aid off, and you got to tear it all the way down.
Yeah,
it's the only way you can. So they have to decide. They have to decide. Look, I'm not saying that you need to get rid of McCarthy. What I am saying is McCarthy's going to boss up. If he's going to be here, he's going to have to boss up and change some things in-house.
Yeah.
It's my offense. We're running my offense. It is what it is. That's one. Two, I don't know about this hybrid, non-hybrid thing, whatever. The defense I want to run is this. Run this. And then go get me my players that I need. So, yeah, I mean, there's look, again, you're 3-9. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how you really say, yeah, you lost your quarterback. Understandable. Okay. But how long is this organization going to hide behind a quarterback? Because we did this with Romo. Romo covered up a lot of ills until it was beyond him and he couldn't cover them no more, and he would throw some picks here and there. You're doing the same thing with Dak right now. Yeah. You can't win a game without Dak. It's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
So either you have to look in the mirror and figure out we're close enough where we can make this thing work and McCarthy has to boss up, or you got to blow this entire thing up. And look, I want Dak here long term. But if you're going to blow it up, don't go get me the retread. I don't want a retread, guys. I don't want a Todd Bowles. I don't want a Marvin Lewis. I don't want a Tony Dungy. You know, I don't want to go find the next John Gruden or whatever. Go get me a guy that's young, preferably even in college. I'm okay with college. The guy that I wanted a couple years ago, doing pretty good in Green Bay, was a big Matt LaFleur guy.
Yeah.
Especially with the work he did, especially the work he did at Tennessee. I like Matt LaFleur. You got to find one of those kinds of guys, give him his young-ass quarterback, whatever, by any means necessary, and let him build this thing. It's the only way to do it. If not, I promise you, we're going to sit here a year from now and have the same type of conversations. Bluff, what you think?
I mean, you pretty much expanded on what I was saying. It starts at the top. If we have problems that need to be solved, the guy at the top needs to be the one that makes those tweaks. If not, we need to blow the whole thing up and start over. I mean, simple as that. And for me, if we go college route, I see a couple of people put in Dabo and Urban.
No.
I don't know. Those are college coaches. Those are pure college coaches.
They stand.
Those are recruiters. They know how to recruit talent and put it on the field. They're not NFL coaches.
Right.
The only college coach I really like is David Shaw for Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy that I saw come in and build a culture and build a program to be winning at a school that's not known for winning. Don't give me a guy. Okay. You don't think David Shaw built that program?
You don't think Harbaugh had that program rocking the right direction before he left, and then Shaw came in?
He did lay the groundwork, but Shaw kept it going.
Yeah, I mean, he got the Andrew Lucks and whatnot there. I ain't seen no Andrew Lucks go out to Stanford here since Harbaugh's been gone. But I get you from a coaching standpoint. He's put players in the league, and he's continued. I think he picked up where Harbaugh left off, and I think he's done a great job keeping that thing moving and keeping that thing going. I like David Shaw.
That's not a football school. Let's get that straight first and foremost. That's an academic school.
Fair enough. No, I got you. No, I'm with you. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I am with you for sure. I just, for me, again, my big thing was when we were looking for the head coaches, I was like, man, go get my number one pick. Give me Lincoln Riley, and can I talk Ron Rivera to be my defensive coordinator? That was my pairing that I wanted. Mm-hmm. I'm not against revisiting Lincoln Riley with a strong defensive coordinator.
Right.
But again, I don't look. If you're going to retread somebody, stick with McCarthy. Like, there's no point in it. Like, you're making lateral movements. You get like a promotion at a job, but you don't get a raise. I mean, you're just making lateral movements. And I mean, that's just kind of the thing I think that they have to look at and say, where is this thing going? What can we do? So on and so forth. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I mean, again, we can cherry pick things left and right. Some good stuff here, some bad stuff there, but we are just indicative in doing what bad teams do. Dude, we gave it 296 yards rushing tonight. I don't care how bad your defense. What's all we need defensive tackles, and that's fine. I'm not saying that we don't. 296, man, and this has been a problem with the last guys that were coaching here, and it's a problem now with these guys coaching here. Mm-hmm. So at a certain point, I know a lot of people don't like to do it. Man, you got to look at the players.
Yep.
You just have
100%. Like you said at first, Knicks, they ran 3 plays. It wasn't a lot of keys.
Nope.
You key the quarterback and you key the running back. Gap integrity and assignment. That has nothing to do with scheme. Zone read option is read option. The quarterback either hands it to the running back or he keeps it and runs. That's all you have to watch. I don't care what scheme you run. You have 11 guys on the field and they know it's going to one of 2 people.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to be on one of those 2 people.
Right.
Now, if he's just athletic and outruns them or what have you, that's a different thing. But to be wide open, running for 20 and 30 yards untouched, that's not a scheme thing. That's a player thing, not doing his assignment.
Well, and even on top of that, right? I mean, let's even bounce back and even talk about it in this round, because we saw the touchdown to Boykin on the play action where Thompson came flying up and he was just wide open.
He was the only one playing his zone, it looked like.
My guys, I'm like, I have not seen so many play action. It's happened since week 1. And it's not stopped. So many times there is just running wide open wide receivers for touchdowns. I mean, in the first half, the Ravens had 4 20-plus yard plays? We had 0. I mean, it's insane. And then they added more in the second half. Like, it's literally insane. I think our safety position, especially without Donovan Wilson, is for sure. Look, I don't know if it's 32nd, guys. It might be 35th, 36th. I don't know. I think there might be guys that have depth out there that's better than what our safety position is. I mean, it's atrocious. It's indicative of the GM. I mean,
I just want to say this. I've never been obsessed with Jamal Adams. I've been obsessed with the position. And this is why I cried. I begged. DJ has Bluff. I mean,
everybody told me Logan Ryan was trash. Everybody told me Logan Ryan was trash. How is Tennessee's defense this year? How is the Giants' defense this year?
At the end of the day, like I said, when you see Stephen Jones in talks with
that's my knowledge, Mendoza. I didn't see him out there.
With 3 safeties, it tells you that they need to upgrade a position. No, Xavier Woods is going to have a breakout year. I mean, we're still waiting. I'm still waiting for that breakout season. I mean, maybe another team he may do well. But the years he's been here, bad. I mean, here's the thing: bad scheme doesn't show you how not to tackle.
Yep, exactly.
I don't understand that. My thing is this: when you learn how to play football as a kid, as a child, which I'm pretty sure a lot of us in here have, they're not teaching you scheme at no 6, 7 years old. Scheme, what is that? No, you show how to tackle, and that's the main thing. And you see the angles. I mean, look, even the play when Miles, I believe it wasn't Miles Boykins. I forgot what play was it, but all you saw was just Xavier would just stand there. Just sit there. Just stood there. And
70% of the time, sir.
I mean,
he's gonna give you 70%. J Tuck, check your inbox, J Tuck. Go ahead.
You know, and that's my thing. That is my thing. I mean, listen, the only guys in the secondary that I wouldn't, of course, Diggs is back, but the only guys as far as the free agents, and it's bring back Cheeto. That's the only guy out of between him, Lewis, and Xavier Woods. Cheeto's the only guy I would definitely bring back if for the right price.
I'm definitely bringing Cheeto back. Yeah, I think you can get Cheeto. I think you can get Cheeto for the right kind of deal, and you know, and he's going to be solid for you. You know, the next couple of years. I'm good with Cheeto. I know some of these other.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
And we're talking about
he's the only guy I wouldn't mind, you know, for the right price.
Yeah. And talking about the secondary, it takes me back to something I bring up every week. Why are we not seeing Chris Westry get brought up to the active roster?
Yes.
And how can you watch both of our safeties play a drive, a quarter, and not attempt to put Reggie Robinson on the field?
Right.
There was nothing our safety showed us that said, you know what? Reggie Robinson needs to sit for another week and just watch. Let him get out there and be active. He's an athletic guy. Even if he makes bad mistakes, it can't be worse than what we saw tonight from proven 4 or 5 year veterans.
Right.
It makes no sense to me. And then they keep bringing up guys like Rashard Robinson, who has probably been on his third team in 4 years, and the personnel moves are very suspect in the secondary. And I always go back to this. I talked about this on my podcast last week. We got to stop converting safeties.
Right.
Like, Spoonie, I know you talk about the safety position a lot.
Right.
But even if you go back to Roy Williams was a strong safety who could play free. He wasn't a true free safety.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Xavier Woods was a nickel guy we converted.
Yeah.
Byron Jones was a corner we converted.
Right.
J.J. Wilcox was a safety we converted. We want to have these deep safety schemes, but we don't bring in deep safety players.
Right. And that's called being lazy and being and sometimes being cute. Listen, I know Willie McClay puts it all out there for them as far as what to do. But I know he doesn't have the final say so, and I know other coaches may, you know, overlook Willie McClay. End of the day, dude, if a guy's a corner, let him play corner.
Play corner.
Let him play safety.
Yeah, some of the playing around it. And Patrick, I'm not asking you to come back here and start though, bro. I'm saying I'm signing him as depth, and he gets a chance to battle for a starting position. I'm bringing other guys in here, but Cheetah might be able to give me something at safety as well. Now I know we're talking about not moving guys, but he played safety a lot, and maybe there's something there. But Cheetah's is a quality depth guy that you can use on this team still. Look, like Jay Lou's got to go. I mean, Tyrone Crawford, I see this there. Tyrone Crawford's got to go. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, all those kind of things. I mean, those guys got to go. I don't know. I didn't think we were going to win tonight. I didn't think we were going to win tonight. I understood, what we were up against and whatnot. I'm supremely the actions within the game is what upset me. The idea that you give up 300 yards rushing. The idea that literally they beat us with 3 plays. it could be 3rd and 7, and we're going to let the quarterback get out, which we know the best thing he does is run and go get the first downs. And we've seen it. We've seen quarterbacks time and time again not throw the ball and just be. We saw it with Cleveland. Hey, Baker Mayfield didn't throw for 200 yards. We saw it with Kyler Murray.
Right.
Like, literally, we are a defense where, hey, if you got a semi-decent running game, it's a great running game, kiss the baby. You're going to average 7+, 8+ yards per carry and do it in what you want to do. And there's nothing we can do about it. At the end of the day, it takes me back to, for all my Walking Dead fans out there, whenever old Negan showed up and he walked into the town and he got all the stuff from Rick, and he said, I just came in here and slid my down your throat, and you thanked me. Mm-hmm. That's what our defense gets every time we play a running team. Every single time. That's what happened. Bro, 3 NFL. Bro, name me their running backs, bro. Name them. Was it Christian McCaffrey? Was Barry Sanders back there running? No. Who was back there?
How you would think they stood up. Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards. Yeah. Gus Edwards had like 100 yards on like 6 carries.
Gus the Bus Edwards, Ingram and Dobbins, and Lamar, of course, slash with him. I mean, listen.
Hill had a couple runs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is true too.
Bro, 296. Yeah, they literally walked in and said, "Thank you. Here, I did this, and you thanked me for it." I mean, look, Chubb went out in the Browns game. Some guy that ain't had nothing since then had 100 yards off the bench, 3rd, 4th string. Bro, it's insane. Like it's asinine. I don't care how bad our guy Jay Tuck, Cowboys fans only from YouTube, is in the building. What's going on, Buck?
What's going on, everybody? Yeah. Man?
At the end of the day, I don't care what you're doing in the NFL. I don't care. At the end of the day, there's no way on God's green earth that a professional football team should give up 300 yards rushing to Gus Edwards and Dobbins. Bro, look, I'm on one. I'm sorry. Mark Ingram, Big Trust, has been witness protection programs this year. And he's out here getting burns all of a sudden and getting yards and averaging 5 yards a carry on us. Man, it's asinine, man. Those things are asinine, man. Like those things, if Mary was there, fireable offense, like, and it's different coaching staff, same shit when it comes to this damn run defense, man. And it's there's even different characters in defensive tackle. I don't want to. Everyone can say we need defensive tackle. We need defensive tackle. I mean, that's okay, fine. We need bro. They're NFL players.
Exactly.
They're NFL players, and we're giving up 300. This guy, look, and I love Lamar Jackson. And something's not right with him throwing the ball this year and different things or whatever. 3 plays they ran. Doesn't matter. Go ahead and get it.
Right. Yeah, man. And that's my frustrating part, you guys, man. It's like, where's the pride? Where's the pride of not just being a Dallas Cowboys player or NFL player, but just being a man? Like, how do you let this happen and you show no tenacity, man? And I feel like we're at the point where, as fans, we get blinded by the lights, man. We get caught up in it because we're in it, So we see, Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith and DeMarcus Lawrence. These are our guys, right? But once you start to step outside of it, man, you start to see the reality of this Dallas Cowboys team. And it kind of just hit me like midway. We're just not that good, especially on the defensive side of the ball, man. And it was just like the Baltimore Ravens knew. Like even when Lamar Jackson broke for that 4th down play, he literally said, "No, chill, stay. I got this." And I was tweeting the question: if you're playing against this Dallas Cowboys team, why would you even punt? Why would you even punt? Why not go for it every time on 4th down? If you do get stopped, their offense can't score for them damn selves. So why not just go for it? And we see that there's no fear when it comes to this team. Spoon, we spoke about Jamal Adams, and we spoke about Earl Thomas. At least someone that's going to make you think twice before you make this decision. The Dallas Cowboys don't have anybody out there to make you think twice. If it's 4th and 2, Let's go for it. Who do they have out that's going to stop me? Leighton Vander Esch played poorly today. Like I said, Jalen Smith was running around like he has on Birdman lugs, like slow as hell. Xavier Woods was the most boneheaded pass interference I've ever seen. And then
Thompson chipped in on it. And Thompson even chipped in on that one.
Right. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, and we're in week 13, so we can't say preseason or lack of training camp. At this point, miscommunication. If you're in a man defense, why are you playing zone? Like, I just don't get it anymore. I feel like this defense has tapped out, and it is where we is. We saw a small flash of it in the middle of the season, but we're just not that good on the defensive side of the ball. So Sunday, Cowboys fan, I would expect the Cincinnati Bengals to possibly, just put the nail in our coffin, because at this point, I cannot trust our defense. Like, you literally need a Pat Mahomes, a Sean Watson, or a Dak Prescott to put up almost 40 points a game to overcome what we got out there on this field. I honestly don't know how we fix it.
Well, and again, I mean, not even on top of that, and then, like, as we were talking beforehand, I was like, the first quarter, here's Zeke. He's eating. He's winning.
Right.
Almost 5 yards a carry.
Yep.
Second quarter.
Yep.
Kellen Moore strikes again. We're in 5 wide receiver sets all of a sudden. What is going on? We're throwing the damn 3rd and 15, throw a wide receiver screens to Michael Gallup. Like, even if you have the Dax of the world who has to overcome what the defense is, it's Kellen Moore's ass.
Right.
And doing this weird ass fucking, if it's not clunky ass, wild ass play calls in the red zone, then it turns into, we're throwing all the screens. And it's like he keeps we're in week 13. Great point you brought up there, Tuck. We're in week 13. You have the analytics every day in coaching. You have them. You know what plays do what, how you did, and everything else. I want to see the play sheet that he keeps looking at with all the stats for all these wide receiver screens and what they've done to say, I should keep calling that, because that's working. It's right. And who do you throw? And he consistently wants to throw it to Michael Gallup. The least in space guy that you want to get the ball to.
Right. And another analytic I want to see, because I just said this on my show. So you're down 14 points. Your damn kicker is pretty much cross-eyed today and cannot make a kick. But we go out there and want to kick a field goal to get some points on the board, and we shank it again. But on Thursday, on Thanksgiving Day, you're down by 4 points, and then that's when you want to be aggressive in your own territory. So what are we doing? Nothing this season has really made sense at all. And like I said on Twitter, we've had Dak Prescott pouring syrup on shit for so long, and Jerry Jones sells it to the fans as pancakes. Well, right now, Dak Prescott is not there. So now we are really seeing what we have out there. And I honestly don't know how we fix it. Nix, I know you talked about your offseason plan. I don't even think that's enough. Like, I don't. I
don't know if it is or not. I'm just saying it's a start in the right direction.
Right.
I mean, I'm patching some holes with the 5-point plan. My problem, and again, and the thing that just keeps ringing in my head is you brought in a head coach and basically handcuffed the best thing he does to let Kellen Moore keep doing what he does. Why do you just bring in a defensive guy then? Because the best thing that McCarthy does, West Coast, call plays, and we're not doing that. So why is he here?
That's why I keep asking, what value does he bring to this team? Like, I just don't know right now.
And of course, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, again, I think, and look, and I ask these guys this: the Cowboys at 3-9, and look, maybe they win another game, maybe they don't. I don't think they're going to win out by any stretch of the imagination. I think at a certain point, you have to look in the mirror. Are we really? Are we close? And because McCarthy was brought here to get us over the 8-8 hump, right? He was brought in to get us over. Well, after this season, do you feel like that's really realistic, or is it really time to just turn this whole thing out and just be like, hey, man, it's time to blow it up and go get you a young coach and do what's right and try to build this thing the right way? I mean, do you really feel that 3-9 what's happening? Because here's what's happening. We're stuck in purgatory is where we are, guys. Because we basically went through all of Romo's career. This is what we did. We went through all of Romo's career, and as long as Romo was here, we had a chance that he would overcome the deficiencies of this team. But as soon as he got hurt, we were screwed.
Right.
And now we're getting a taste of that with Dak. Oh, yeah. If Dak is here, sure. Hey, we got a chance. We can win. Things can happen. When he's not here, guess what? We're ass.
Right.
You got 3 wins. Look,
Right.
hey, y'all remember the golden ages? And when I talk about the golden ages, like, week 1, 2, or whatever, and all these guys were pounding their chest. Oh, just put in Andy Dalton and watch this team take off.
Right. Oh yeah. All them weapons. What did Coach Dungy say? It's a blessing in disguise. Okay. Well, where's my blessing? Because I don't feel blessed right now when it comes to watching this team, man. It's just pitiful, man. And here's the scary part. We said all that about Dak Nix, and the Cowboys still might make that critical mistake. And I feel like they're getting even closer to being within that range of making that mistake. So I mean, because if we lose to Cincinnati on Sunday, we're in quarterback range now, like for the draft. So
It'll put us at 3.
Yeah.
And look, and I talked
you
about
better
this.
not pull out that wig, Spoon.
Look,
you better not pull
it out, Spoon. Pull it out. Look,
what's that?
Go ahead and pull that wig out. Go ahead and pull that.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pull it out.
Put Trevor Lawrence at cornerback or something.
But I said,
You talking about Spoony Lawrence?
Yeah, come on, get that Spoony Lawrence out here. The folks need Spoony Lawrence real quick.
Spoony Lawrence?
Yeah, we need Spoony. All right, get that Spoony Lawrence out here. But
the wig yet.
Here's the thing though, and I said this after the Washington game. Me and you talked about it, Tuck, and I know you probably caught some of that as well. It was almost like the wild ass 4th down in the game. All right, let's make sure we lose this. Let's call this bunk ass play. Let's make sure we lose. And tonight, I'm just like, did y'all really call the game to win? I mean, look, I don't believe in tanking. I don't believe that the coaches believe in tanking. But you look at shit and you're just kind of like, what is really going on here?
Right. Because I feel like if you playing to win and like, okay, the season's possibly over, we have nothing to lose, then you're going for it on 4th down in those moments. So why are you bringing out Greg Zuerlein after he's already shanked 2 kicks? Like, we're down by 14, defense can't get a stop. So are we aggressive or are we not? And I feel like that's the hard part about this season. What is our identity, man?
I don't know. Zeke is tearing it up in the first quarter, and then we don't see him basically the entire second quarter. It's just like, it's just wild stuff like that. Bluff.
Yeah.
Fix it. Take the wheel for us.
Jesus can't take this wheel.
I know.
Fix it for us, man.
Man, one thing I say about what Jay Tuck talked about with the coaches, I've been blessed to hang around a few defensive coordinators and stuff like that. One thing I learned about these guys they don't think like we think. Everything they do, they think they've been trained their whole life, and everything they think came down from the football gods and blessed them with all the right answers. So we may look at stuff and be like, what were you thinking? But in his mind, he game planned this all week, and in his head, oh, this is going to be a touchdown. Everything I do is going to be a touchdown. Right. Everything I do is going to lead to a stop or a sack or a turnover. And it just doesn't work that way. Right. And we keep seeing them make all these mistakes left and right in terms of play calling and personnel usage.
Right.
There's nothing we can do to change how they think. All we can do is hope for the best.
Right. And that's as I'm saying, like, there's no accountability. Like, if Thompson, if you are calling out the wrong coverage again, because you've been out there for all season damn near, like, can we just pull him out and try somebody else? I mean, when we all came out playing sports, if we were out there screwing up, we would get yanked out of the game. But I don't understand, like, there's no accountability. At this point, like, what do you have to lose? Yeah. Why not throw this Reggie Robinson kid out there to see?
And he don't have a contract. He don't have a contract. It's not like you're paying him so he's got to play.
Right.
You're not paying him. Well, there you go. There you go.
Somebody.
There you go.
Wow, man.
Spoony Lawrence is in the building.
God. There was a coach on this team who since training camp says Darian Thompson can be our answer at safety. That's the problem. There was somebody on this team who is cheerleading and campaigning to say Darian Thompson can be the guy if we give him the chance. Even though he showed us for 13 weeks he can't be the guy.
Yeah, right. I said it week 4, week 3. I'm gonna say it here in week wherever the hell we're in now, 14. There's no way on God's green earth that Thompson is better than Clinton Dix right now off the couch. There's no way. You'll never, ever help me believe that. Spoody Lawrence, how you feeling? I need a favor from you, Spoody Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
You're going to come out here and get your Eli Manning on, and you're going to have to tweet or release a statement that you won't play for the Jets. Is first and foremost, FYI.
That's fine. I'm going to make that announcement. I do not want to play for the New York Jets. I want to play for one of the biggest fans of Clemson in Bluff City. He's a Clemson fan. I want to play for. Well, you know what? I can't release that yet. As of right now, I just don't want to play for the Jets. I want to announce where I want to go.
Here's what we gotta do, Cowboys Nation. Start digging through some of them T. Lawrence old tweets, man. See what we can find.
There's always
work
a
for
tweet.
Buffalo. Work
There's
for Buffalo,
always
so they got
a
Josh
tweet. Yeah, there's always a tweet on everything.
Yeah.
But as Spoody's in the garbage to get up and everything else. This is what and this is and this is the point. As much as I want Dak to be the quarterback here long term and everything else, if we're really getting to the brass tacks and we're going to look, we got this gaping ass bullet hole and we got a Band-Aid on. The only way to fix it is to rip that Band-Aid and actually go in there and fix it. And the way to go fix this thing to me at the end of the day is I got to go get me a young coach, pair him up with the right kind of people. And then look, man, I love you, Dak. I love you, Zeke. I love these guys. Guess what? Man, they all got to go. You got to get rid of them. You have to break this thing all the way down and build it back up. Because if not, here's what I promise you. Keep the status quo. Right. As long as Dak is healthy, we'll be okay. As soon as he happens to get hurt again, we'll be right back here talking about, dear God, we are stuck in purgatory. Look, and I get it. And it's easy to cherry pick and say, oh, well, I mean, Knicks. Oh, if you lose your quarterback, I mean, that's just part of the gig. You're going to be out of it. No, losing your quarterback doesn't give up 300 yards rushing. Right. It doesn't. It doesn't. Having these weapons that you have should solidify you, as well as this offensive line block tonight. Again, there are positives from this game. This offensive line did their job tonight. Shout out to Steele.
I think all the offense did well. I mean, for the most part, offense did play a lot better. I mean, there's some things you could fix, but offensive line played well. Andy Dalton didn't play bad. You mentioned Zeke started to get the thing going, but Mike McCarthy said, nah, not today. So
exactly this right here. Miami went and got Flores, and he cleared the decks.
Right.
And you look at now they ain't contenders. Let's get off the gas a little bit there. I'm not going to say they're contenders, but he is turning the thing around, and he's got the thing pointed in the right. He suffered one season, and he's got it pointed in the right direction with 2 first-round picks this year, the Texans and theirs. But not contenders yet. They're not there yet. But again, go ahead.
Let me ask you all this about the whole Jimmy Johnson idea of franchising Dak and then bringing in a quarterback in the draft and let him kind of get the Mahomes treatment.
You're not this quarter. For me, this draft class isn't set up that way.
Right.
If we go back and look at what that draft class was, they had Mahomes, right? It had Deshaun, right? I mean, we can go down the list of those guys that were coming out. Right. So I don't think this draft class is really set up that way. For me, look, I've had people try to bump up the guy from Bama. Justin Fields, there's things that you can like and hate about him, specifically the offense that he runs. We haven't seen nobody come from that offense into this league and do anything. To me, I think it's very clear cut. I think there's Trevor Lawrence and there's a bunch of maybes.
Right.
Is what I think. I'm not saying that some of those guys aren't going to hit, but I think it's Trevor Lawrence and a bunch of maybes. And now the one thing that you do have with McCarthy is he's able to groom quarterbacks. But again, you're wasting time. If you're tag again, you're just kicking the can down the road. Exactly. So you're gonna tag Dak and I'm gonna bring in a young guy underneath him. Like, what are we really talking about? Because none of that shit fixes what we need to fix.
Right.
So to me, I think it's it's still back to everybody in Cowboys Nation doesn't want to rip the Band-Aid.
Right.
You have to just eventually rip it. Look, I'm okay with keeping that in the status quo. Let's see where McCarthy takes us. And if he wants to install his offense and he's going to be the play caller, I can get behind that. I can ride that. I'm not here I'm not here for next season. And I'll tell you, and I'll be very staunch at this point from here on out. I don't want to hear about Kellen Moore running his office or calling his office no more in Dallas. I'm through with that. I'm done with that. I've seen enough. It's okay. I get that he's young and he was fresh. That's fine. If he goes on to be great, congratulations. It ain't going to be here. It's just where we are. So If you're going to play with this idea of Dak signing long term, get the shit done that needs to get done. If you're out on deck, then be out. Go all the way up and go get Trevor Lawrence and do what you got to do. Go get Spoonie Lawrence, get that guy here, and build around him over the next 4 years.
I just got to say, I do not want to play for New York Jets.
My man. You know, I mean, look, fair. He goes, shit, Miami was competitive. I mean, fair, but they lost. They lost a bunch of games. He changed the culture. I'm not really disagreeing with that. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't talk about is, and here's the conundrum. And I'm gonna start with you, and I'm gonna go around the horn with all you guys. When they brought in Brian Flores, they did something else though down there in Miami at the same damn time, right? Cueing my future real quick on that. They brought in a tandem, a GM, and a coach with a plan of what they wanted to do. They're joined at the hip, and that's what they've done. And look, for better or worse, and whatever you think about Jerry as a GM, Jerry bought the team. He was the GM, married to the coach. And then we kind of got to Jerryisms or whatever after Jimmy got up out of here. But they were married at the hip early on, and they knew that in a lot of different ways. And then things kind of got left once everything happened. So even with the idea of coming and getting a new coach and changing that, who are you going to be married to? Steven? And there's the other side of the purgatory that we have to – I don't want – way too long for us to talk about tonight, right? Okay, well, who can Steven bring in that's going to work with him and this, that, and can we actually spend in free agency? Not on that. But, yes, a young coach to clear it out. Is McCarthy really going to try to clear this thing out? And here's the question I'm getting too long about. Is McCarthy going to be willing or have the ability to clear this thing out and do what he wants to do? Bluff?
Just off history, I would say no. I mean, the Joneses have run things for almost 30 years now. We've seen them bring in coaches like Jimmy Johnson, Bill Parcells, guys who we thought were authoritarians, who called their own shots, wanted to buy their own groceries if you asked them to cook the meals type guys, and they didn't get a chance to do that. They got a chance to make a couple of moves here and there to kind of say, this is my guy, I really like him. But for the most part, it's still the Jones culture in Dallas. So I don't think that'll change anytime soon.
Spony?
I mean, listen, when Parcells came here, he the biggest thing, one of the biggest moves he was able to do was talk with Emmitt Smith and not re-signing him. You know, he said, I got young guys here. I want to see what I got here. I mean, when it comes to McCarthy, we really we have a lot of questions. Are they want to blow it up? I'm with if they want to. I'm with that. If they want to do that. You know, I'm tired of seeing the same thing. Do I want Dak here long term? Of course, I want Dak here long term. But we're gonna find the real answer once we see what happens with Dak, the decision with Dak, and then go on from there. I mean, I don't think McCarthy's gonna get fired this year. I really don't. I think he's gonna be here another year. I don't unless it's a big name like Bluff said earlier, you too, BJ, a Lincoln Riley, or somebody from college, somebody with a big name. And even when they come in here, how much of a authority you're gonna give them over the team? You know, it's things of that nature. We still in the Jones culture, like you guys just said. It's never gonna change as long as they're on the team. But it's not like we can't win with the Jones culture. The problem is you gotta. BJ, I believe you said earlier on during the show, we draft well, but we don't sign guys. Well, as of now, with Stephen Jones, we don't sign nobody. We bargain shop, and that's a bad thing. You have to get guys. Do we make trades? Yeah, we saw Mari Cooper for that trade when we needed a receiver. You can make the moves, but. We have a lot of questions for the offseason, a lot of questions, and that's going to be something else.
I mean, Jay Tuck, right? The blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, right? We're 30 years into this thing, or 25 years since we've been able to bump into that nut, right? So, what do you think, man? Is it? I mean, are you co-signing what we got going over this way, or what do you think?
Nah, I believe every coach from the Jason Garrett era was let go, except that one golden goose. And so, as I've been saying, and a lot of people don't want to agree with me, Kellen Moore will be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, like it or not. I feel like Mike McCarthy's the rebound guy. He is the bridge because you got to think about it. Kellen Moore, especially when he gets Dak Prescott back next year, which we all probably think is going to happen, he's going to continue to put up numbers. So eventually NFL teams are going to want to poke around and say, okay, maybe it's Kellen Moore. And we're going to kind of go through that same cycle when we went through Jason Garrett, where Jerry Jones isn't wanting to let go of Kellen Moore. And so if Mike McCarthy starts to tether a little bit, then I think Jerry Jones would go to his guy, Kellen Moore. I don't think that the Joneses' idea with bringing in Mike McCarthy was to give him the opportunity to rebuild. I think it's to get over the hump what we currently had in place with this roster. Maybe a few additional pieces here or there, but I don't think the idea was to fully blow up this roster and let Mike McCarthy get his guys, because as you got to think about it, the Mike McCarthy guys that we did bring in this season, they was all axed by week 4. So, is he really that great a coach of picking his own groceries? Remains to be seen. So there's a lot of unknowns, but as we all know, man, Jerry Jones isn't going to give Mike McCarthy that much of a leash, especially after what he's done this season. I feel like if he would have did, a much better job this first season, then Jerry would have kind of stepped away a little bit. I think right now Jerry is going to start to get in the kitchen, man, a little bit. I feel like if the Cowboys do make a move, it'll be with the defensive coordinator. I feel like Mike Nolan will be the guy that's let go first. But who will we bring in? Hopefully we bring in a younger coach with some new identity and some new ideas. But I think Mike McCarthy, I say give him 2 to 3 years, and it's going to be Kellen Moore, to be honest with y'all.
Let me pivot and throw this one on you, this number. So throughout Jones's tenure, Mike McCarthy is going to be is literally going to end up with the worst record first year underneath, outside of Jimmy Johnson's 1-15. He'll have the worst win-loss record of any coach that Jerry has hired since Jimmy Johnson.
Right.
Do you think, as Spoonie brought up during our live cast of the game, that Jerry's been a lot more vocal here lately, right? I posted a tweet. He was asked on 105.3 The Fan about, hey, there's first-year coaches in Washington and New York, and they've had to deal with quarterbacks and major injuries, and we're seeing them go and get these wins. And Jerry even said it's an accurate, question, and said you probably can't get more clear, as far as the set of parameters around it. He never really answered it, but he kind of co-signed it. And back to Spoonie's point, you've heard a lot more from Jerry here recently than we've heard from Steven, even on the local radio up here in Dallas. Mm-hmm. Do you think now, again, he's going to have the worst record first-year coach underneath Jerry Jones, outside of Jimmy Johnson? Do y'all think that could sway them to make a move?
I feel like, we joked about this on Twitter the other day. Even though Jason Garrett isn't the head coach of the Giants, I feel like there's still that resentment of Jerry being kind of forced to get rid of his guy. And so I feel like that's the reason why Mike McCarthy's leash might be a lot shorter with Jerry Jones versus other coaches, because he's like, damn, I got rid of my guy who I wanted to keep. Now he's in New York, the same division, and they're probably about to win the division possibly, or they're playing well, and he's leading a first-year head coach, the coach of the year or whatnot. I should have just kept what I had. So there's going to be that bias remorse I feel like Jerry could possibly have. So I mean, we'll definitely see. So I just don't see it. It'll have to be a drastic jump next year with everyone healthy. But let's say, for instance, everyone comes back and we go 7-9 or 8-8. I feel like Jerry's going to sit back and be like, nah, we need to make something happen. So,
all right, Spoonie. I mean, again, I got you the second slot. Do you think if we finish 3-13, the worst record for a first-year head coach since Jimmy Johnson, 1-15, year one of Jerry owning the team and being the GM, do you think that matters any way, shape, or form in this thing of possibly moving on?
No, I think he'll be back next year. I really do think he's back next year. I think like I said, I don't even know for sure. Listen, with Dak Prescott here and Mike McCarthy, a full team, can they make a run? Sure, they can make a run. Is that the direction they want to go? Don't know yet. That's gonna be, once the season's over, that's gonna be the big question. And it all lies on how are they gonna sign Dak. If they're gonna sign Dak, McCarthy stays. If they don't sign Dak, that's gonna be all right. Are they going to keep McCarthy and blow all up, or are they going to go with a different guy here? But again, Kellen Moore can be the future, and it's a lot of questions.
Right. Marcus, Bluff City. You think 3-13 is going to matter?
I'm kind of in between what Tuck and Spoonie said. I think the offseason is going to tell us a lot. And like what Spoonie said, he thinks if Dak gets signed, that means McCarthy's staying. I think it's the opposite. I think if Dak is signed, that makes McCarthy leash shorter, because now Dak and Kellen Moore are more the ones tied to each other. So now if we come back another year and Dak comes back and we don't have a good season, okay, let's just get McCarthy out of here, because we know Dak and Kellen are the guys. If Dak leaves, now you have a young quarterback, which you would assume your coach handpicked because he's a quarterback guy. So now you got a rookie who is going to make that leash a little bit longer, because he's going to say, hey, let me get a year or two with this guy to see if he can help turn the franchise around. And I feel like that'll be more of how it goes in terms of that.
And see, and I'm here with Mendoza, and as I'm screaming this from the rooftops, the calls offensive calls plays, but that goes directly against Kellen Moore and maybe the agenda that they have for Kellen Moore here. But again, I will say this, as Mendoza talks about Mike McCarthy calling the plays, if he's not allowed to make that choice, because to me, I think he should clean house. To me, I think he should get rid of Kellen Moore, personally. And low key, I'm kind of okay with keeping Nolan another year. I would like to see a change there. But I think it's a bad sign. He can, because there was someone's going to be made the scapegoat. It'll be Mike Nolan. Well, the easiest scapegoat is, Jason Garrett's guy was here running his offense. What do you want me to do? Like, you're tying my hands. I can sell. Hey, look, let me implement my West Coast. Let me get a fullback in this thing. Watch what I can do here, and let me go ahead and call these plays. And look, and at the end of the day, if Mike McCarthy is not allowed to call the plays here, then or install his offense, even. I mean, we're in a conundrum, if you will, guys.
Well,
We're
let me ask you this, Nick. So, do you really think offense is the problem in Dallas, though? Because I disagree.
No. Yes, offense is the problem. You can't score touchdowns. From the 35 in, I've been saying this forever. I don't care about. Look, I lived through the Jason Garrett 20-20 and can't score touchdowns. We're still doing the same thing, because tonight 3 missed field goals. If you punch those touchdowns, add up the score for me.
Right. But do you think that comes down to our personnel? Because I feel like when Dak was playing, we were lighting up the NFL. I mean, we lit it up last year as well. So, I mean, that's the hard part with Kellen Moore. You really can't, Yeah,
I mean, we lit up the NFL the first 3 weeks last year.
Right.
And then we got to New Orleans, and then it was, things kind of happened.
Right.
And yeah, sure, we would get down big or whatever, and then we would kind of, Dak with the no quit, and we would come back and do these things. And I'm not calling them garbage yards, because some man was out here doing this thing. But at the end of the day, yes, sure, the defense needs to be fixed. It's fine. On the same token, my head coach isn't a defensive guy.
Right.
He has a particular offense that he's always ran and called plays for that's not implemented. And we literally see issues continuously. We saw him for the past decade not be able to score in the red zone, and we're seeing him now with a new head coach. Again, it changes what the other side has to do, because if you're scoring touchdowns all of a sudden, not kicking field goals, or in this case tonight, missing field goals, maybe all of a sudden the Ravens say, man, we can't just keep running this ball no more. Man. We got to start throwing this thing a little bit. And look, outside of the interception, we had a couple of different opportunities to get our hands on some balls as well. And maybe if Lamar had to throw that ball a little bit more, we probably would have got some more turnovers and whatnot. So I don't care how many great defensive ends we have and how they can get to the quarterback and all this good stuff. If you can't stop the run, or your offense can't punch in touchdowns, then they're going to just sit there and do what they want to do. And again, now if we're talking about like our head coach would say Tony Dungy, okay, fair. Maybe we can talk about what's going on that defensive side. I know we have problems. Safety, again, I think our safety core is about ranked 35th or 36th in the NFL, not even top 32. I think people have depth at safety that is better than our starters in Dallas. However, even with that being said, this game was in check for a while, even with the way they were running the ball. What happened? The score could have been 24-19. Better yet, When they made it 27-10, it would have been 27-19. When we scored the last touchdown, we'd be going for 2 to tie the game up.
Right.
But at a certain point, like this offense, as great as look, we put up big numbers, yardage, but we don't punch. We don't punch, and it's been a problem for a decade.
Well, let me ask this question then, because we're focusing a lot on offense and we're talking about blowing it up.
Sure.
If you
I thought I was blowing the whole thing up on both sides, but yeah. But go ahead.
Let's just stick specifically with defense. If you look at free agency, we're going to potentially lose 5 starters from the defense on top of another 3 key players. Looking at what happened this past year and who they brought in, do you let Nolan stay another year and bring in players that fit what he wants? Or do you go ahead and get rid of him, bring in somebody else, and you got a blank slate pretty much outside of your key 4 players and let a new defensive coordinator bring in his own team?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, can I add something to that question that you posed? Are we really going to be committed to the 3-4? Because basically that's what Nolan wants to get to. That's what he wants to get to. So is it a 3-4 versus 4-3 thing that we got to look at, or if you're saying let Nolan commit to this multiple? I want to be in a 3-4. Is that what we're saying? Because he doesn't have, obviously. I mean, he tried to run his shit for 3 weeks. It didn't work, and they came back and did this 4-3, which obviously still isn't working. So I'm with you there, Marcus. So I just want to make sure I got the question clear. Let Nolan come in and get the people that he wants, because I think that's why we haven't seen Bradley and Nate. I said this during the live. I think we haven't seen Bradley and Nate because he can't stand up and go get the quarterback, and that's what they want him to go do. They're scared to put his head into the dirt. You want to fully commit to this hybrid defense that Nolan wants to build, right?
I'm just saying personnel in general, because we got a lot of guys who are gone. Whether we want to let him build it out the way he wants to, or do we want to let somebody else build it out? Because front 7 is going to be pretty bare if you really look at some of the guys who are leaving outside of D-Law and the 2 linebackers. Everybody else is pretty much gone.
No, I mean, you got Gallimore, you got Tristan Hill, right? You got Gregory, you got. I mean, if you bring back Alden Smith, and then of course, Lee's gone, but Jones is gone. Dorrance Armstrong, Antoine Woods is gone. Right? Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I mean, Jay Tuck.
It's a great question.
Yeah, Jay Tuck. You letting Nolan fill this thing out as Marcus talked about, or?
Nah, I think Nolan got to go.
Okay.
I'm over. I'm over with Nolan. But I would like bring a younger coordinator, someone who's more involved. Because think about it, he was a linebackers coach. It's just one of those things. I felt like Mike McCarthy really just put his homeboy on because his homeboy put him on. But I feel like there was really no credibility for bringing him in as a defensive coordinator. I would probably clean slate. Find an identity of what you want to do. Find a guy who fits that. Let him go get his players, do his own shopping, and go from there. Get some of these younger guys in the draft and plug in the holes and really build this defense from scratch, free agency or whatnot. But, the thing is, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys in the offseason, can you trust them in free agency? I don't. Because that's Spoon been saying they're bargain shoppers, man. Yeah. They're going to get some low-budget guys out there that's just for the cheap, that kind of has a mid-tier name or whatnot, and they're going to try to build that way. So it's really hard. It's really hard.
I'll give you a quick story, a real quick story to add on to what Tuck said. I remember a long time ago, when I was high school days, right? High school days. So we was all watching the game. So it was my turn. It was my turn for me to go get the food to bring back for us to watch the Cowboy game. So I go to the supermarket, right? I bargain shop.
Right.
You guys ever heard of knee-high soda?
Yeah, of course.
I rocks with knee-high, though.
No. I mean, listen, think about it. There's Coca-Cola, there's Pepsi. I got knee-high, right? I got me cookies that we didn't even know about. They didn't even say Oreo. They just said chocolate.
Well, yeah, well.
So when I brought all this stuff back to the house, I saved money for them. So like, wait a minute. This don't taste like no damn Oreo. This don't taste like the nachos. This don't taste like the soda we like. They ain't like it. This is the thing that we're going through. We're bargain shopping. We're getting players for cheap. And here's the thing. BJ, I almost shed a tear earlier because he came out and said, we're not going to sign Xavier Woods, but it scares me. I can see Stephen Jones say, oh, you're signing for $2 million, or I'll keep you. Just because you sign cheap, like the way they did Anthony Brown. And that's bad. The guy's no good. He can't play. You got to go out there and spend money. You look around the league.
Hey,
we're watching safeties.
Spunny, let me backdoor your point there. Man, we all said on different shows and different things that talked about Worley and how good he was going to be for this team. All of us did. We are all guilty of over here pumping up Worley.
I wish I could back
Worley? Oh, yeah. Listen, and here's the thing. We've all seen Minka, Jamal, Tyrann Matthew, right? Logan Ryan. We're seeing safeties that we all had a little hand in it, but we didn't want to pull the trigger, making plays on other teams. Stephen Jones, no disrespect. I'm sorry, but I'd rather the old Jerry who took a chance.
Right.
This Stephen Jones, I'm sorry, he can't.
I mean, at the end of the day, you just can't ignore free agency and never sign nobody. You just can't do it. Like the draft isn't deep enough, and you can't trade so much. Like eventually, you have to go sign somebody. You have to. I mean, it's just what you have to do when you have an issue, and it can't be these bottom barrel guys. Now we can talk about Nolan, and Poe was meant to come in here and play nose tackle on a 3-4, and so on and so forth, and different things, and it didn't pan out. Here's the thing though. But
we had
let's
a
get back.
Brandon Carr and let him go.
Oh,
right. Yeah. But here's my point. As we're going back to Eagles, so we want Mike McCarthy to come in here and just say, all right, all my guys that I brought in here to coach this year, I'm out. Like they're gone, but we keep why would we get rid of everybody he brought in here and keep Mike McCarthy? What's the point?
Well, here's the thing. Did Mike McCarthy bring those guys in, or did Stephen Jones say
no? I'm talking about the coaches.
I'm
talking about the coaches. So we want Mike McCarthy to clear his coaching staff that he just brought in here for 1 year, and then just say, okay, Mike McCarthy, stay. Like if you're going to get rid of Mike Nolan and all these guys that he brought that he handpicked outside of Kellen Moore, but Mike McCarthy can stay, bro. This is why we lose. This is why we're bad, guys. Absolutely. If y'all want to sit here and you don't trust Mike McCarthy's picks at position coaches 1 year, not even 1 year, we're 12 games in. But you're okay keeping Mike McCarthy. Therein lies the whole entire problem with the Cowboys organization. Because if they're not good enough and he's the guy that pulled the trigger to bring them in here, then he's not good enough to be head coach, and you need to clear the damn slate.
Right. He should take responsibility for the people he brought in, too. That's what I've been saying. So
yeah, here's my thing, y'all. Do you guys have if let's just say Mike McCarthy's fired, who are we going to bring in? Who do you know that's available for sure that we can replace him with?
It's so far ahead of that kind of. It's so far ahead of that kind of question, and we don't know who will be available, who's not going to be available, or who you can bring in or whatnot. It's a weird question, right? And look, and again, I'm not saying that he's gone. I'm saying, but if we want to get rid of everybody he brought in here, then we should get rid of him too. Look, I'll say I've said it before. People don't like it. I'll go get the kid that's the offensive coordinator. Look, if we're not going young, super young, like maybe college young, and you want to look around and pick, because I hear the Airbnbs over there and whatnot. Look, he's been a head coach of the league before, maybe a little too young. Went back home to daddy, got some things underneath him. I would absolutely take my chances and go up there to New England and go grab that guy at offensive coordinator.
Used to be the Broncos coach with Tebow.
Yep.
Josh
McDaniels.
Yeah.
He's still young enough. That kind of guy, I would go get a Josh McDaniels. And look, and I get it. I'm kind of spinning against the wind because a lot of those guys that are from his cloth have not done well in the league. Brian Flores is doing pretty good though, FYI, right? And he had success in Denver. A little young, maybe a little too brash on things. Went back and got a little bit more toolage up underneath old Hoodie. And I would say that would be the kind of guy I would like to bring in.
Right.
So, Nick, you're saying you're cleaning everybody out, including Kellen Moore, right? Is that what you're saying?
For me, no. For me, what I would do is I would get Kellen Moore out or supremely reduce his role install McCarthy's offense and let him call plays.
No,
is
I'm
where I
saying
would be at.
If you're saying
But if
McCarthy has to go,
no, it's clean. No, if we're talking about again, back to can we get over the hump, or is this thing broken, bro? You clear the entire thing, man. You wipe the entire board. Look, you give up. You stick with that third pick. You pay the King's ransom to go to 1 to go get Spoonie Lawrence. You get the young head coach pairing with a good defensive guy, and you rebuild this thing. And you got 4. Go sign Justin Simmons. Rebuild this defense. You got the weapons already on offense, and go do something. Because this offensive line is broken. That's the other side of this thing too. Everybody's talking about Dak coming back and stuff like that. This line is done. Like this line that we had with the Great Wall back in like 2014, this thing's done. Let's be clear. The Beard's not walking back through the door. Tyron Smith didn't even give us 3 games this year. Right. Zach Martin's even hurt right now and on IR. Like, guys, like it's over. It's over. 30s already. You got to understand. Kenny Rogers said the best. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And if you're ever going to fold, if this was the stopgap to get the Cowboys over the hump, and your stopgap to get the Cowboys over the hump with 3 and 9 and wherever he's going to go, boy, it's time to fold them. Yeah. And it's time to figure out and understand this thing ain't working. It might suck for a couple of years, but I will take a couple of years of learning on the job and get this thing pointed in the right direction to have long-term success. Then sit here. Guys, we could have done this cast in 2015. Yeah. It's 2020. We literally could have did the same cast we're doing right now in 2015.
Right.
And it'd been identical. So we can meet up, guys. Love y'all. I'll see y'all. Let's just keep status quo. Let's keep McCarthy and all these guys here, and let's keep that. And I'll see y'all in 2025, and we'll do the same cast again.
All right. I agree because I feel like nothing's changed. And I feel like we digressed. So yeah, man, it's frustrating because, like I said, I don't even know what the hell I'm watching anymore. So it's just
you get beat by 3 plays. What can you do?
Right.
You get beat by 3 plays. What can you do?
Right. I'm counting down the days. January 3rd is the last game.
January 3rd.
Game I was supposed to go to this year. Was it from the pandemic? Right.
Yeah.
But not gonna go. We're not gonna be there. But it's the last game of the season, and that's what I'm waiting for. Once that's over with, then the fun begins. All the questions will be answered little by little. Then we got the Senior Bowl, maybe. The NFL draft stuff, and then in March, and then February comes. Okay, are we gonna come back? Or we tagging him? Then here comes the free agency. It's gonna be a lot of things. And the Cowboys, it's gonna be the number one thing. Oh, if we end up with a top 3 pick, do we trade up for the quarterback? It's gonna be so many different. That's what I'm waiting for. I'd rather deal with that than keep dealing with what we think.
What I watched tonight. I'm good. I'm good. Like what I watched tonight. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like low key. Look, I haven't missed a Cowboys game in literally. And this is when I was back in Florida. I had to go to the bars to go watch them. Dude, I haven't missed a Cowboys game in over 20 years. I've watched every single Cowboys game. I have not missed one since I was probably like 16, 17. Over 20 years, I have not missed a Cowboys game. And watching this game, I was laughing, bro. Like, I felt like the Joker. I was just laughing. I was just like, bro, this is where we are. Like, bro, the Browns out here 9-3 doing God's work. I say here to watch Washington go be the undefeated team. We played them tough. They went on the road. I had to go watch Colt McCoy go to Seattle and beat the team that we couldn't beat. Yep. And I'm just like, and then this shit tonight, man. It's S9, it's S10, it's S11, and I don't know
the problem. When will it ever change? Why would it change? We're gonna tune in. We're gonna go to the game. Yeah. We're gonna go to the draft. We're gonna do all these things. Why would they ever change it? We're already in the business model. The apple of the NFL right now, man. Like same cycle. They'll give us new AirPods, upcharge it a little bit, sell us something else.
Oh man, speaking of which, y'all saw them Air Pro Maxes or whatever over the year, $549.
That's what they're gonna sell us after the draft.
The Apple stuff works a little bit better than our defense, though.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
There's that. But Mendoza, they're 2-3 versus winning teams. What are we versus winning teams? Ofer. Bro, we're over. Like, I don't care. I mean, they're still down in 3. I mean, we're not beating teams that have losing records.
Dearness Johnson.
Bruh.
Now, those that said that new head coach will want Justin Fields.
I don't think that's true.
I think he's talking about the Falcons.
Oh, the Falcons. Oh, okay, moving up. Okay. I mean, listen. I told BJ. I got a wings bet for the NFL draft if they let us have it. We go past the pandemic. I said 5 quarterbacks will go in the first round. That 5th-year option is very important. That is the new formula for teams to go out there and pay the defensive players all that money while your quarterback is young and that rookie deal, and you save a lot of money. Look at Joe Burrow. Look at my man from Buffalo. Look at Kyler Murray. They for 5 years or 4 years, you can sit back and pay everybody else, have a good team. That's how Russ won the Super Bowl. Right. And now when Russ don't have he got paid and nobody else, they can't keep nobody else. Look what he's doing. He has to carry the team on his shoulder. And that's not a good way for a football team. The formula is young quarterback, cheap.
Well, I mean, you can be worse. You can be the Eagles right now.
Oh, they crazy for what they did. That's what
Really poo. But I don't know. And back to your thing, Jay Tuck. I mean, that's the thing. I think that's why I'm so disheartened. I'm a little bit more passionate tonight than usual. Is, dude, I don't see a way out. That's the problem.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, for Cowboys Nation and everybody out there, I don't know what the way out is. I really don't, because we're stuck in purgatory that we're not going to spend a free agency unless somehow that changes magically. And look, and now sometimes the Cowboys will do these shut up happy things, right? They'll do these. Oh, well, y'all want a new coach? Well, here's Mike McCarthy. Shut up, be happy for a little bit.
Right.
And so maybe this offseason they'll open up the wallet and go sign somebody. Oh, no, we spent some money. Yeah, be happy now.
It'll be some low budget safety they'll bring in. They'll
dress him and do whatever. And at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't know. I've seen different things, and we can do this. Man, boycott, don't buy, don't go to the games, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I don't care what's happening in either sport. We know on ESPN and FS1,
right,
bruh. They're going to. We are irrelevant in the NFL. Guess what they're going to talk about tomorrow?
Right,
Cowboys.
Right.
So, I don't know. We keep the lights on, as Spoonie says eloquently, a whole bunch with these things. So I don't know what the outskis is. We can boycott, we can do things, hey, we want change or whatever. But at the end of the day, that's probably the most disparaging thing about it is understanding, like, even with a new quarterback, a new coach, and everything else that is going on, we are still stuck in where we were 5-10 years ago, and it doesn't matter. And what is really the change? You can hope that you end up hitting on that one draft pick that's really going to take us over the top. And not that we haven't got good draft picks. Things have happened, and we've had really good players, but it's never materialized. I go back to, a blind squirrel finds a nut. We've been 25 years, no nut. So I don't know. It's frustrating. I agree, Jordan. What is the outskis? I don't know. How do we get out of this rut? Again, that's why I'm on this. As much as I love Dak and what he stands for, and I think he is a, top 8 for a lot of people. To me, he's a top 6 quarterback, personally.
That's the end of the day.
If we got to rip that Band-Aid and break this thing all the way down to get it built back up, then that's Stewart. Yeah, people are going to keep buying Jerry Snake oil.
Right. Because even if we were to move on from Dak, let's say, for instance, we did move on from Dak, drafted Trevor Lawrence or whatnot. I don't trust us to build this defense because we just went through it with Dak Prescott. We had a quarterback on a rookie deal and did nothing. We signed DeMarcus Lawrence and Jalen Smith.
Well, we draft. Hold on. You get my Stephen Jones on. Yeah, we drafted really well and we signed our own.
Yeah. Tell Byron Jones that,
Indeed.
Yeah, because I feel like if Dak was gonna get his money, I was like, okay, well, at least we'll pay Byron Jones. No.
Jerry Jones, I remember he gave us LeVoy Glover. When we were building the draft for the secondary, we traded up. We got Moses Claiborne, and we had what's his name?
We got burnt on that shit.
Yeah, what's his name? We cut in week 3 as a free agent. Yeah, Carr. Brandon Carr. There was a time we got Ken Hamlin when we needed a safety. Ken Hamlin was solid with Seattle. Even though Jerry Jones doesn't make all the great decisions, he still would press the button on something. Mm-hmm. When it comes to Stephen Jones, it's like, okay, this guy's available. Steven, we needed this. Oh, that's too expensive. Nah, I can't touch that. Can you go $2 cheaper? That's the problem.
Right.
And again, I can't trust. I'm with Tuck. I cannot trust that man making any moves.
Right. But again, at a certain point, and again, this is why I said this is why we're stuck in purgatory, bro. We are so stuck with PTSD as Cowboys fans. Like, we can't trust them. Okay, if you're going to rebuild this thing, we can't buy in because we don't think if you get the young quarterback, you're going to do the things that you need to do with the free money. So we want to hold on to this other side. However, we basically know holding on to the other side means, well, Dak's got to be perfect. We have to defend him tooth and nail because if he's not perfect, we're probably going to lose. And again, and it's just the vicious cycle that we've been going through basically since 2005. It's the same cycle 15 years later. It's the same cycle we went through since Romo came onto the scene. And it hasn't changed. There'll be good players. Look, whether it's D-Law or D-Ware, right? Whether it's Terrence Newman or now maybe it's going to be Diggs, right? Oh, there's Brady James. Well, here's LVE. I mean, you can sub the names in and out and different things of that ilk. It's the same shit though, consistently, no matter what. And we can't get a coaching staff together that if we falter with some injuries here and there. I mean, my God, never forget the Atlanta game. We lost Tyron Smith and we couldn't block it left tackle. I mean, it was asinine. And better yet, after the first 2 or 3 sacks, we couldn't figure out how to stop it even after that. And now you get all the way here. Look, and shout out to the offensive line tonight. Like, Steele played well. We watched Steele be bad forever to the point we had to kick Zach Martin out, who ends up fucking up his cap, is gone for the year. And it's just like, bro, I mean, yeah, here we are, man. Purgatory. We're in purgatory, Cowboys Nation, and there's no way out unless you listen to the Knicks 5-point plan. There's a start. It won't happen, but there's a start.
Right.
There's a start. But on that, T or CeeDee Lamb. Well, I mean, theoretically, I believe that we're going to have a CeeDee Lamb a lot longer. I am supremely shocked that he dropped the Hail Mary. I can't believe he dropped, like, the way he hit his hands. I cannot believe the catches I've seen that kid make. I know he's going to be kicking himself. But I mean, good. I mean, Teal's an all-time great. Should have been the first ballot Hall of Famer. Wasn't a true Cowboy to me, but I mean, he played, and I appreciate what he did for the Star. Never going to forgive him for disrespecting the Star. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, come on, man. CeeDee Lamb, I mean, he's in the lineage of 88s. Is going to be here a long time. So, yeah, man, give me CeeDee Lamb over T.O. all day.
Yeah.
All day. With that being said, man, we've been here a long time, man. We got people still rocking with us and trying to chime in and everything else. I'll give you the last word before we get out of here, man. It's almost midnight, man. We got to get up out of here. Tuck, tell the people where you're at and give your people your final thoughts.
Yeah, man. Follow me on Twitter at JTuck151. Also on YouTube, subscribe, Cowboys Fans Only, and go to CowboysFansOnly.com. Yeah, man. You said, man, I've been fighting hard for this season. I was one of those guys that wasn't going to give up. But after tonight, man, I just have to throw in my cards. Like, it is what it is. We're just not a good team. And as a Cowboys fan, it's okay. I can finally admit that. We're just not good. The talent isn't there, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The coaching isn't there. We can't trust the special teams. I mean, the key elements that it takes to win football games at any level, we just don't have it. And even our star power with our wide receiving cores and also our running back isn't enough to overcome it at this point. So we just got to just take our L's. Get to January 3rd, man. And then, like Spoon said, that's when the fun will start. So we'll see. It'll be around the corner. It'll be quick as hell. So
yeah, it'll be here. Yeah. It'll be here before. Yeah, it will definitely be here before we know it. Also, shout out to everything. Glad everything's going well your way, brother.
Yeah, appreciate everyone for all your support, man, and prayers. Everything's good. So appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Spoony Lawrence, tell them where they can find you, and of course, your final thoughts, man.
It's at Spoony881 on Twitter. And I do not want to play for the New York Jets. And listen, it's like Tuck said, be patient. We almost done with this. Once it's done, all the fun begins. All the answers will be answered. I mean, all the questions will be answered. And geez, we have a lot of things to discuss. It's almost NFL draft talk. I can't wait for that.
No doubt, no doubt. Bluff City.
All right,
Again.
guys. You can find me YouTube, Instagram at Bluff City Cowboys. Doing my podcast Cowboys Zone tomorrow night, 8:30 Central Standard Time. So if you guys want to tune in as we recap this game a little bit and also look ahead to Cincinnati, feel free to come in and join the comments. It's been a long season, big roller coaster. All I can say is just keep tuning in, keep enjoying the ride. You got a lot of great guys on this panel. Keep following us because no matter how bad this team looks, we're gonna keep giving you guys great content. So keep tuning in, keep watching.
No, big facts. Man, appreciate Bluff City, J-Tuck, Cowboys fans only. Appreciate y'all chiming in tonight and coming in. Different level that we met with this devil in this Cowboys season that we dealt with tonight. Appreciate my co-host down there, Spooty Lawrence. Always bringing the heat. You know, you never know what you're going to get from him. He was eating earlier and yak, and now look at him now. Man, you just never know. Man, on Twitter, underneath my name here, you can see me, _guy_Naismith. Come follow me over there. The third host for the Star Game podcast, Mary Ellis, she was chiming in and commenting earlier. You can follow her at Star Game Beauty as well. Star Gang is the link on Facebook on the group and the page. Like and follow the page. Come join the group. And then YouTube. Man, hit that sub button, Star Game Podcast. Come find us over that way. Despair is what this game brought me today because I just don't know how we get better.
Right.
But from to borrow a quote from Kevin Costner, I think what was the movie called? I think called The Mailman, maybe something like that. I forgot the name of it exactly. This post-apocalyptic stuff happened. He started telling people deliver mail and whatnot. And the president, he's like, he had a line. The particular line was, stuff's getting better. Stuff's getting better all the time. And as these guys have eloquently said, come July 3rd, Jesus, I'm way ahead. January 3rd, you know, we can put this season to an end and get to this stuff. Me and Sweet have already talked about it, man. We're going to be doing a big board running this year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're definitely, you know, we're ramping up our side on the draft and college guys. We've kind of been a little dormant, you know, for a while till free agency comes around, but we're definitely going to actually kind of keep some content going. Definitely do that. Me and Spoon are going to unveil what date we're going to reveal our big board. I think it's going to be sometime in February, and we're going to adjust it. We're going to have that show, and we're going to adjust it week by week. We're going to probably do the top 20, not overall players, but dedicated to what the Cowboys, what we think they need, and adjust it as free agency comes and different things happen and whatnot. So, yeah, we're going to get that top 20 big board going and adjust it every week for y'all, man. And we're going to have a good time doing that as always. I can't tell y'all enough, man. As Osama Dilla said, he'll be there tomorrow for you, Bluff City. Man, catch these guys' show. They do great content. Mm-hmm. They have great people come on. Man, we're just out here doing the thing and repping these boys is better than they are on the field currently. I'm taking my shots. Bang, bang. I feel bad. Oh, man.
Yeah, I hope they let us at Oxnard, man, because I want to keep a close eye on camp next year, man. So they let us out in Oxnard, man, because I feel like they snuck a few things through this year because we wasn't watching, you know.
Right. Man, the eagle eye.
Yeah. So I want to see Reggie Robinson for myself. Like, what's really going on out here?
Yeah, that old blue and white scrimmage. Like, blue and white scrimmage. Hey, they're lining up. Oh, it's over here on the grass.
I was over Mike McCarthy after that blue and white scrimmage. I told everybody on the live stream, Bluff, like, all right. After that blue and white scrimmage, I'm like, all right.
I was almost like, ooh, I said Mike McCarthy.
Oh, yeah.
I was
like, being secretive, you know. He didn't want to reveal some of our players on, you know. Nah, man. He was just.
Mike McCarthy was on that shit because, like, damn it. Kellen out here called the same shit Jason was.
I can't let them see this yet. I can't let them see this right now, man.
hey, real quick before we go.
Yeah.
Do we see Reggie Robinson and Bradley on the field this year?
Robinson,
January
yes,
3rd.
No.
January 3rd, you'll see him.
Robinson, Robinson, yes, and no.
Okay.
I think they have completely resigned themselves to say we're not playing a 3-4, so we're not going to play him and put his hand in the dirt. I just have to believe that at this point because Dorrance Armstrong, I don't care what Jerry said. It's been terrible. So at this
got that
point,
blessing though, man. Got that blessing.
He got that touch. So I don't think we'll see Bradley, and I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, I think we'll see Robinson though. But I don't think we'll see it now till next year, man. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong. But Spoonie, we gonna see him or no?
Robinson, no.
Yeah, I think that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask y'all this: since we lost Carter and got him back, any chance we get Carter on the field at a certain point? Rondell Carter from James Madison. Remember, because we lost him to the Colts for a little bit. He got released. We got him back. Any chance on the defensive line with this depth? He can kind of kick inside a little bit, maybe give you something. Any chance there?
Probably. Last game of season.
Last game?
Yeah.
I feel like after Cincy kind of just puts the nail in the coffin on Sunday, man. I feel like we're going to
spoiler alert.
I'm out against Cincy, man. Like I mean, what could make me think that we can actually stop Cincinnati right now?
Nothing. There's nothing that should tell you. Nothing should tell you, man. No,
nothing at all. So I'm like, yeah.
The only way I'll pick us is if Double G starts. If it's Andy Dalton, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm out.
Right.
I'm out. But that note, man, we appreciate you as always. Come follow everybody. Do your thug this, man. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Peace.
Appreciate you guys.